What's going on, world? This is your boy Troy, your friendly neighborhood NGTOW, and today we're going to be talking about real men.
I spit hot fire.
I'm God, bitch!
Look up in the sky, is that a goon or green goblin? None of the your bruh, but some motherfucking dragon. Super Saiyan 2 to a cell, no problem. You put me in a cell, then you got
Bad out, nigga. I'm God, nigga.
What's going on, world? This is your boy Troy, your friendly neighborhood NGTOW. I am 100% your friend, and today we're going to be talking about what everybody says is a real man. How many times have you heard this? Obviously, this is a typical shaming tactic that a lot of women like to throw out there. But, you know, if you were a real man, right? If you were a real man, you would do X, Y, Z. X, Y, Z for those in these here United States. But one of the things that you hear so much of this about, and particularly I don't know why I see this a lot on Instagram posts, but you know, there's always a picture of normally it's of some sad woman, right? Or it's or it's like especially like with Father's Day coming up, right? Or it's always a picture of like some grown man and he's holding a little kid's hand, and it always says, you know, a real man steps up to the plate and you know, puts food on the table that another man left or something like that, right? And they have like different ways. A real man is able to step into a woman's life and take care of her kids. Right. A real man is a cuck. Wait, no, that's not what they say. But, you know, a real man is able to see a woman for who she is regardless. And, you know, obviously, you know, this from singlemoms.org or some shit like that. I don't fucking know. Right. But let's talk about that. Let's talk about that and why I believe that assertion is some bullshit. All right, let's talk about it. Now, I wrote an article about this. It's going to be live at bullshit.com, but I also wrote another article that ties into this and did another video that ties into this labeled "It's Her Fault." I don't know if that's the actual name that I decided on, but you know, whatever. This is pretty much the part 2 to that. It is her fault. Now, why is it her fault? Right? Because we talked about this. Men are biologically disposed to pretty much kowtow to a woman. When men are, you know, biologically disposed to, you know, shut down our brains and kind of just blindly follow what a woman wants us to do, and women knowing exactly what men want and, you know, how to manipulate us and things of that nature, I add that on top of the fact that they get to actually choose the men that they want, and they do choose, because if a man just chooses and everything, it would be a lot more forceful sexual exploits, but that's not the way it is. Men propose, women dispose, right? 10 men are coming up to a woman and she says, no, 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 yes, right? That's the way that thing works. So she chooses. There's and so with that, we're going to go through each and every level of choice when it comes to single mothers. Why that is, but like I say, before I do that, and let's talk a little bit more about why it was her fault, right? Because you know, women are better at relationships. Right? She chose. So she chose that man. Why else is this important, right? Because men in our, well, I'll say weakened state, in our beta state, and every man has a beta state. Everybody has, it is what it is. every man in our beta state is predisposed to do what a woman wants us to do, right? How many times as a man have you done some shit that you really didn't want to do, but the woman in your life wanted you to do, so you've done it? I mean, look at any married marriage. Look at any marriage. married marriage. Look at any marriage. Right? Women nags and, oh, how come we can't do this or do that? Or how come we do this? Or how come you're not doing that? And okay, all right, honey, I'll go do this. All right, this and that. And then how many times, well, you know, it's my job to make her happy. Okay. Yeah. And it's, ugh, God damn. All right. Or you hear some shit like, I'm the man is the head of the household and the women's the neck that turns the head, or some shit like that. Or there's always some let's see, what else? The man may be a head, but the woman has the quote unquote real power in the relationship. I mean, all that other good shit. So men, particularly when we get cuffed, we're biologically disposed to just do what this creature wants us to do, right? It is what it is, right? So if you're a woman and you found a man that either A, was just an asshole to begin with, then A, you chose him. If you found somebody and couldn't keep him, then B, you mishandled the situation. Right? But so, and reason why I say this is part 2 to It's Her Fault, because, you know, eventually, if we follow the inevitable course, then what you end up, the inevitable course of fuckery, what you end up with is single mothers. Why do I say that? I say that because, you see, normally women that, you know, and look, everybody, you go through a little bit of heartbreak. Well, he was an asshole and this and that. And you know what, sweetie, you're absolutely right. Going ahead, be angry, da-da-da-da-da. It's okay. No real consequences. We got you. It's all right. But if you follow and you just keep going along with this thing, and let's say you keep going along with this man, you know, eventually you do what you do and men do what we do and we all do it together and we come out with babies, or as a woman, you come out with babies and, or a baby, right? And that is the inevitable conclusion to the matter. And so there's some reasons for why that's important, right? Because like I say, you chose the man, you chose the situation. And in fact, right now that, and I don't want to get into a heated discussion about birth control or contraception or abortion. Right? That's a different video for a different time. But look, we now live in the day and age where as a woman, you can choose, I mean, well, there's like female condoms. There's like the little thing that they stick in your arm, the little thing, little T-bone shaped thing that they stick in your pussy. There's like, you know, you can take the pill, you can take a shot, you know, as men, you can tell him to use a condom. If you didn't want to get, there's the day after pill. As a woman, if you don't want to have a man's baby from the start, just from the actual sex act itself, you can stop it, right? But then again, let's say that, you know, time flies by and, well, now you're pregnant. Now, you know, now it's crunch time, right? Now we live in a time where, and pretty much most of it on the taxpayer's dime, but where if you wanted to kill that baby inside your stomach, well, it's just a bundle of cells, whatever, right? Where if you wanted to do away with that life, you can do it anytime. So you have the kid that you have because you chose that. You chose the man, you chose to have sex with them, and most of the time you kept the baby, and most of the time you kept that baby because you wanted to keep the man, right? You thinking, well, if I have his kid, right, then he's definitely gonna stick around. That's a women thing. Think back to the last video when I said women are fucking idiots, right? But that's a different topic, different time. Back on screen. But Yeah, so that is, like I say, the inevitability for your fuckery is becoming a single mother. And it's all something that you chose. But you know what? Let's talk about those decisions. Let's talk about the different stages for women and why at different stages of their life they would become single mothers. All right, so let's start with a woman in her peak. All right, this is a woman, you know, really, you know, ages, you know, 15 to about 25, we'll say that range. I understand, you know, the legal age is 18 or consent, some is 16, 18, you know, whatever it is, right? From about 15 to 25, right? That's the range. Not telling anybody to go out and, you know, start soliciting 15-year-olds. Don't do that. Not saying anything like that at all, but that is the biological reality, right? I just want to throw that disclaimer in there. So from this age, what, you know, women are developing, right? The popular girls in high school. Oh my God, yeah, everything is fucking wonderful. Oh my God, all right. And then 18, like, yes, I can finally start going to like the kitty bop clubs. And then like 21, like, yay, we can do whatever we want to do. We can drink now and we can go to all the clubs and this is gonna be wonderful. And I can get any man I want to and I'm so beautiful and gorgeous. And oh my God, yay. Because I'm pretty sure that's how you talk, right? But let me get some coffee. Strong shit, black. I know you can't see it, and if I tipped it, it would spill, but black coffee. Put some hair on your chesticles. All right. Yes. Ooh, ready to go, baby. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I do a horrible impression, but we soldier on. So during this time, a woman is pretty much at her dumbest, right? Because she's never really had to think for herself. And I know women, oh my God, I'm smart, I'm intelligent, I go to school. This is the same bitch, you probably got a degree, right? Yeah, if not, it doesn't really matter. In this range, you're still at your dumbest, right? And I'll have another video pretty much dissecting women in education. That's a whole nother like series in and of itself. But in this range, you're at your dumbest. The world caters to you. You pretty much get anything you want. It's for free. It's on a platter. You don't have to think in order to have things materialize for you. And ooh, that actually brings up another pretty good point. I'm gonna drop a little. I'm gonna deviate. I'm gonna take a little bit of a bunny path. Something just clicked in my mind, and if I don't say something and solidify it, I'm gonna lose it. But isn't it kind of funny how a lot of these women seem to be attracted to the law of attraction? Not saying that it's not a real thing, but you have a lot of women that'll sit there and they'll think about and they'll meditate on what they really want in life, and then they just like hoping that one day it'll magically just kind of appear, right? We get to make our own reality, right? Well, where do you think a lot of that shit stems from? Right? Because when they're 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, shit just happens for them. So a woman, now that she's older and she's more spiritual, right? That's a word one. Spiritual. Now that she's more spiritual, right? That means like, okay, I can't really get a man to give me the shit I want, but hopefully the universe will just make this shit happen, right? No, not knowing that in order to really get what you want in life, you have to give something of value to get something of value. But that's a different topic for a different time. Let's continue to bully. But in this time, you know, a woman, she's pretty much, like I said, she's pretty much at her dumbest, right? She so well, you know, what does she do? She goes after the bad boys. She goes and fucks whoever, you know. I mean, it is what it is, especially now that we live in a time where women ain't got no daddies. Ain't no daddies for these bitches. Ain't got no daddies. You kidding me? So they just slanging it. You know, so and a lot of them, they don't really know who to really go after. I mean, and none of them seek counsel from nobody older than them, and everybody that is around them is talking shit on men and everything like that. But I'm digressing. Let's get back on the main trail off this bunny track, and here we are now. But you know, this is a lot of the times when you know, they're in that, I'll say princess mode. You see this on all the dating profiles. I'm a princess. They're in princess mode, right? Where they can just, you know, and it's understandable. They can make mistakes, right? They can, you know, chase after the bad boy prince, the rebel, the renegade, right? They're not really thinking too much about resources or things, because everything's really been handed to them by this point. I mean, by this point in their life, they've had parents look after them. They've had boyfriends paying for them. They've got, well, I'm strong and independent, and I don't, fuck out of here. You got that's a whole, that whole independent thing, I can break that down to a T. But that's why I just say, on the whole, in this stage, all you got to do, just follow me here. You're at your dumbest. And you know, so they'll find a man, and they'll primarily use their sex to try and trap a man. It'll be the wrong man. And so that man, who most likely happens to be an asshole, I'm not here defending men, if that's what it is. Even if you are a man, right? I'm not really here defending you. I'm just stating what is, right? So, you know, when they say, oh, he was an asshole, I'm not denying that he was an asshole. I'm not denying that at all. He probably wasn't. As a man, as an actual man who has to deal with other men, I understand that there are fucking assholes out there. I probably understand that better than women do, right? So I'm not denying that, but what I am saying is that out of 3 billion men on this planet, over 3.5 billion men on this planet that you could have chose from, you chose that asshole. All right. But let's take it a step further, right? Has this kid, and now she's still kind of in her prime, up to about 25. She's still in her like physical prime. Now, once you have a kid, if you're an 8, you automatically take 3 points off of your score. Automatically, at least 3. Bare minimum. So if you were a perfect 10, you have a kid, you are now a 3. If you were an 8, you are now a 5. If you were already average, you were average looking woman, and you were a 6, you were cool, maybe a 7, you are now way below par. You know this, I know this. That's why you are all trying to shame men into becoming quote unquote real men, because you couldn't find a real man, and you couldn't make a boy into a real man. So now you're trying to shame. But even then, like, let's say that during this time you weren't the ditzy, like, oh my god, everything is fucking wonderful, everything is great, oh my god, and you were just, you're an average chick, you're a beta chick, you're a beta female, right? You still have that power. Understand that, because like I say, most men date down. Right, I mean, like I say, how many, you know, and I use this just broad, general, you know, how many football players are out there, like I say, busting their ass, making $100,000s, millions of dollars or whatever, and then they come into the locker room or they come into the club with some random chick. I mean, she looks good, right? But what value does she really bring? Nothing really. She's like, he is clearly better than her. How many dudes have you seen? They got the resources, they got the everything, they got the, and the women are just there to be there. Women date up, men generally date down. Every now and again you got those dudes, particularly you see this a lot in church, really, like, it's weird, where guys will talk about I'm ugly and my wife is a lot better looking than I am and I'm lucky to have her, and this, I don't want to go into that whole thing. But even if you are average, you still have a fucking great pocket, a great window of time to trap a man. It is still well within your reach to do so. You're probably just too and probably you got issues. So what you probably did was fuck the dude, and you know, I don't know, and then you just latched onto this motherfucker. Like sometimes it's just a bad relationship. It's just he's not really an asshole. It's just a bad matchup. You two just don't. You two just don't mix well, right? It just doesn't happen that way. But yeah, you still, regardless of who you are, even if you're a fucking ugly chick, there are still older ugly chicks, and you are a younger ugly chick, you still have a big advantage compared to most women in this time. So let's go on. I'm talking a little bit too much about stupid bitches. So now we'll say this is a time, I'll call it the in-betweener, the in-between time. So this is about 26 to about 30-ish, right? It's this time where you have not hit the wall, but you're no longer in your prime. You're an in-betweener, right? You can no longer show up to the club and be like, I'm in the motherfucking club, bitches. Somebody buy me drinks. You're now like, all right, well, I'm here. Hopefully I can, you know, find a nice spot to park my purse, right? I mean, you're kind of there now. Like, you still good, you can still, but understand, you coming in the club at 26, there's at least 2 or 3 others just like you with 5 less years of experience and 5 more good years of fertility, right? It just is the way it is. Starting to show a little bit more. You look older 20s. Some of you look much older, some of you look younger, but on the whole, at the end of the day, it is still clear that you are an in-betweener. So during this time, your body is pretty much telling you, like, look, you still look good enough to make something happen, right? You're still good enough to pull it. You're still good enough to pull the trick, but now you can't really be fucking around with fuckboys. Like, you really have to go with this. So, all right, so you kind of find but here's some problems that happens, is that during most of your life, you have been in so many ways trained not to think. But I have a degree. That don't mean shit. That actually means that you think less than the average bitch in many ways, because you go into a class where they give you a book and they tell you, read this and then report this and then have a test on this. So they tell you what to do and then regurgitate it and this and that. They're not telling you how to think. So you're literally, even if you have the degree, you're trained not to think. So by this time, here's the thing, you're still more experienced, so you probably at this time found a man and pretty much did the same thing as the younger, stupider version of yourself would do, only this time you think that you got it, right? During this time, you think, well, I'm a little bit more experienced, got a guy who's a little bit older, everything will seem almost perfect, right? I'm older, he's older, I've been through some things, he's been through some things, like, you know, this ain't young, but we're here now, I'm good. So, but pretty much same thing happens, right? Because you're not trained to think, you're not trained to actually go after quality men, you're not trained to do any of this stuff. So pretty much same thing happens. He ends up leaving, he ends up being an asshole, he ends up being a flake or a fuck boy or whatever like that, and you're stuck holding the bag with the baby and you're like, oh, man, like I thought everything was gonna be fine and blah 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 blah. That's your reality, right? And it's still weird, like there are still some things, like even then that stage still isn't very, I'll say, clear, because like I say, it's an in-between stage. It has some things from your stupid youth to your, I'll say, more mature self, not necessarily intelligent, but your more mature self. So let's talk about that. Now we'll talk about the next stage, which is what I call at the wall. You're not, yeah, maybe you hit the wall, but you are certainly at the wall. You may be face to face with it, maybe this way, right? Let's see if you may be face to face with it, you may hit it, but you are now at the wall. Right, this is about 30 to 35-ish, maybe 40-ish, like I said, if you're lucky. But you're about 35 now, 30, 35. You're at the wall, it's clear, time's running out. You know, by this time, many of your friends kind of have kids or don't have kids. You don't want to be like one of your friends that doesn't have kids. You know, you don't want to be alone. You want somebody to take care of you for the rest of your life. You kind of understand it may not be a man. It may not be a man in your life that'll take care of you, but if you have a kid, you know that a kid is going to take care of you, or you, at least you think so, right? So, but that's what you do. You're at the wall. So you find a man, and now it's more about business. Now, you still, because, you know, like I said, you still might have hope that you can land a good one. Like, you still might have the hope. You still, like, these are the women you see on POF or Match.com or whatever these days. They're all the same dating sites, right? But these are the women that they're like 30, 33, 35 or whatever. And it's like they still have immature shit on their profile. They still talk about, you know, well, I want a man that, you know, is fun and spontaneous and adventurous and this and that. Like they still want that youthful shit, but they also still want a man. Like it is now more important with the man that has the resources and the finances and everything like that. That is important, but they still just want that, you know what I'm saying? They still want that fun, you know. So I'll talk about that. But yeah, look, I mean, at this point, your eggs are drying up, your biological clock is ticking, your sex drive is increasing, but at the same time, you understand you can't, like, it's weird. Your sex drive is increasing, but you understand you can't just throw pussy at random dude. Like, you understand you have to be tactical with this now. And like I said, for some of you, even if your sex drive hasn't increased yet, you might still be feeling like, oh, I really don't want to have sex. I'm really not into it. I really don't, da-da-da-da-da. But you understand now that, you know, what you say isn't as important as what that mouth do. If you feel what I'm saying. At this stage in the game, you understand that, all right, I gotta put the pussy out there. I gotta do it, but gotta be more. It's the way it's gotta be. So when you're at this stage, you hit the wall. How do you become a single mom? Well, most likely, and this is pretty much what happens, is you end up finding a guy. He's gonna end up being some kind of beta, some kind of cuck, right? Or more of a beta. He's not gonna, he just doesn't fulfill you, right? He might have the money, he might have the job, he might have all the things, and you're able to trap him, get his kid and all this other good thing, but he just doesn't fulfill you. He doesn't really, you know, make that role, right? It doesn't happen, right? And either if a divorce happens, if something like, most likely at this point, he's going to want to marry you. You're going to let that happen. There's going to be a divorce. And now here you are, single mother with the kid, doing your thing. So let's jump to the next, let's jump to the next stage. Now this is post-wall. What I just said was you're at the wall. This is post-wall. This is, you've already hit the wall, but you still have maybe 5 years, 10, I wouldn't even say 10. Like once you're 10 years past the wall and you're still quote unquote fertile, you're gonna have some like fucking hunchback babies with fucking webbed feet. I would advise doing it, but fuck it, I'm not your doctor and I'm not your fucking kid. So I'm not gonna be the one, you do what you wanna do, right? So I should have put a trigger warning before I did that, but whatever, right? But here you are, let me just take another sip. At this point, reality has sunk in. So at this point, if you're this old and you do not have a kid, then you understand you're not youthful. You've pretty much given up on the fact of finding the quote unquote perfect man. You've pretty much given up on the fact of, love and, all this other stuff. But you understand you still want a baby. You still want to be taken care of. You still want that. And kids, women, I mean, it's just a biological thing. You use kids as more of an insurance policy than anything else. I mean, a kid's more likely going to take care of you growing up than anybody else, right? So pretty much this is where cougars come in. So we look at cougars, and cougars are like the you know, just like the cats, they're on the prowl, right? So at this stage in the game, you are very tactical. Right? At this stage in the game, you don't just walk into bad dick. Like, you don't just walk into an asshole. At this stage in the game, you understand what you're completely. Like, there is no, even then, it's weird. I think even in your 20s, I think even in the 20s, women kind of understand what they're doing, but they're able to at least rationalize it to themselves. And, oh, he was an asshole. Like, at this stage in the game, there is no rationalization. You know what is happening. You know at this point in your life, you done fucked up. Somehow, some way, one way or another. Maybe you got cats now or some dogs. People are more like dog people now. This is a whole nother thing. Maybe I'll write an article about it. But you are now at this stage in your life where everything is intentional. So at this stage, you've probably found a man. Sucker nigga, just sucker motherfucker. He probably has some kids of his own. Let's be honest, at your age, at your old ass age, he probably has kids of his own. If he doesn't, then he's probably the most, I love you. He's probably somebody else's hunchbacked, web-feeded baby that no one else could fuck, but now he's older and no kids of his own looking for, you know, love and shit. So, but he's got some resources. So you at this point, this is the trap. You trap a man. It's completely intentional. It's completely everything like that. You probably marry him. If nothing else, you have his kid. You get that child support check, and you're out. So now you you understand what you're doing. Oh, well, men ain't shit. Men are this and that, blah, 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 bitter, angry. But you fucking know you fucked up. You fucking know what you're doing at this stage in the game. So, gentlemen, these are the four stages of single motherhoodedness, right? I just want to see if I'm missing anything. So, before I go on, right, there is something, and it is on my computer screen, so I want to read. I made a list, right, of some things that you need to ask yourself, because at the same time, like, look, let me just get personal here, right? There was a time in my life when you know, I came across a woman, I came across a woman, single mom, and look, I almost fell for it, same way everybody else does. My brain shut off, and right? And I'm just like, man, you know, she's beautiful and all this other stuff, and it's just like, oh God. But the whole kid thing, right? And you know, I wish somebody would have been around. I don't have any kids, not that I know of, right? But you know, but I wish somebody would have been more around to ask me some of these questions, in as far as dealing with a single mother, right? Or to tell me these things that I'm about to tell you, right? So I'm just gonna kind of read off the thing. Let's see. Whatever positive you expect, I will give you a quick rundown of what you must definitely expect. So this is what you're gonna definitely expect. 1, less time with her than a woman with. Less time to be with her than a woman without a bastard baby. That's the first thing to expect. If you're gonna be with the woman with the baby, be with the woman without a baby. You're gonna want to choose a woman without a baby, if nothing else, because you get to spend more time with her, right? If that's what you want, right? Number 2, baby daddy issues. That is what you will expect. One way, shape, or form, you are gonna run into baby daddy issues. Even if, oh yeah, well, we're cool and we're all right. Like, you're still gonna have to see this motherfucker. You're still gonna have to at least be cordial with this guy. Like, it's gonna be weird because you have a kid, but you're kind of raising him, but the dad's there, or you're in the household and the dad, like, just baby daddy issues, right? I'm not gonna go into all of that, but that's what it is. Number 3. Always, without exception, being number 3 in her life. Without exception. You go into her life, you will always be number 3 on her priority list. And you hear this all the time. Well, my son comes first. My daughter comes first. My kid comes first. Right? And then who comes second? Her. right? She comes before you. She's still gonna want, like, when you guys get together, she is still going to want you to sacrifice yourself for her. That's the whole point of you fucking being there. You will always be number 3. Right? So at least number 3. And like I say, she says, well, kid first and then her. But with, like, nowadays with these women, I'm not even sure if that's the case. For most women, I'm telling you now, it's them first, then their kid, then you. But that's another topic for a different time. Let's go on to number 4. Possibly, right? I just said you're number 3 in her life, right? And number 4 is possibly settling for being number 4 in her life. Number 4, why is that? We'll see reason number 2. And what is number 2? Baby daddy issues. That's right. You think, because a lot of times, women, they fuck the dude that they really want. That dude that really revs their engine, that really grinds their gears and really gets them going. So let's think about this. She fucked that dude that she really, really wanted, didn't work out, and now you're in her life. Now she might love you, respect you, whatever, but you understand, she has a kid with this dude. Right? And she's with him most likely because he was slinging that dick. So in her mind, now she might tell, of course, baby, I love you, da 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 da. But it goes her baby daddy, her kid, then you, or her baby daddy and her kid, then her, then you, or have whatever combination. But you will most likely end up being number 4, right? So there's that. Number 5. The child may or may not, emphasis on may not, respect you. This is the whole thing. You ain't my real dad. You ain't my daddy. Da 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 da. I don't want to go too deep into that. But so you're going to be sitting there with a kid that you're taking care of, that's not your kid, right? That doesn't even respect you in the first place. Doesn't even want you in the first place. On the whole, this kid and look, it's natural. You got to understand, this kid would rather have his or her father that makes up half of their own DNA than you. It's just common sense. Oh, I love him just like it's my kid. Or, this kid loves me just like. Get the fuck out of here. Do you want a just like relationship, or do you want an is relationship? Huh? Do you want something that's just like love, or do you want love? Do you want something that is just like a good woman, or do you want a woman? A good woman. That's a whole nother topic for a whole different time. But goddamn, like, do you want something just like success, or do you want success? Do you want something just like money, or do you want money? Like, don't give me this whole, oh, well, it's just like. No, get the fuck out of here. Get the real thing. Leave the situation, right? So let's dig into it a little deeper. What's number 6? Oh, losing respect and being diminished in the eyes of men. Look, we all know that you are, on the whole, you're being cucked, right? On the whole, we all like it's something that, now you'll find the men out there, because, most men have kind of been trained to be, at least outwardly understanding, right? Because very few men are going to come out here and be like, oh, I don't fuck that. But on the whole, yeah, if you're taking care of kids that aren't even yours, of course, maybe, if you go to if you're in some like religious community or something like that, or, something like, oh, well, you're being a good man, you're taking care, fuck out of here. Men on the whole, like, men aren't designed to respect you. En masse. Like I said, maybe you can get involved in some community, maybe you're already in a community or a religious system or whatever, but on the whole, you've lost respect from men. So there's that. I can go deeper, but I'm not. Number 7, face abandonment during hardship. You are primarily a resource, not an emotional not much emotional investment can be placed in you. So what does that mean, right? So when shit hits the fan for you in your life, right, you are more likely than not to just be disregarded, to be discarded. Like I say, in this woman's life, you are about at least three her third priority, if not fourth. So let's say something happens to you and you're going through something. Let's say something happens to you, maybe you lose your job. Something happens to you, maybe your mom or your dad or somebody passes away and you're really going through it. Well, first of all, women, they're already biologically programmed to not really give a fuck about a man's feelings on the whole, but you are now you're like already third or fourth in her life. Like, so you honestly expect abandonment. Now, she might not outright kick you out or abandon you, but just you know, distance will come. So let's talk about this. Number 7, possible legal meddling, right? See baby daddy issues, right? Now, you know, courts are going to get involved. If you're with her, you know, your name might be brought up. They might be asking how much you make or where you work or what you do and how much you're involved in the child's life and how much she should get from child support from this based on you being there. You might have to like not live in the house and all this other kind of stuff. Like, legal meddling, understand it just might happen, and that is something to look out for. So number 8. Oh, sorry, that was number 8. Number 9, you might catch a beating or something worse. See baby daddy issues, right? You might be getting tipped up, like I just saying. You're physical. I don't know, but her baby dad he's a great guy, and you know we really get along with each other. The fuck, man? Go find other friends, right? But on the whole, like, look, you might catch a fade one day. At the same time, like, look, because that kid has no respect for you, and you know, she has little respect for you. I mean, at the same time, very few women are programmed to actually respect a man that they're cucking with. So look, you might be faced in a situation where you have to hit another man's kid. Now, same time, look, I made a video about spanking, all kinds of things. This is not the place to really dig into all these things, but I will say this, right? You might be put in that situation. Maybe you're defending yourself, and you know, whatever reason, or let's just say the baby daddy, he's just like, fuck it, like, I don't like what you're doing. You might have to throw some hands, or you might be prepared to catch some hands. Something that can happen. I've seen it. I've known, you know, you can, you know, it's a thing, it's a possibility, it can happen, and it won't happen if you're not involved in her life. Next, which is number 10, no sex once committed. Right? You gotta understand, like, when it's, oh no, say, oh yeah, well, you know, we're dating now and I'm getting sex and everything's cool and this and that. Right? She's that. What's the thing that women use to get men into a relationship? Sex. Right? So when you're in the relationship and you're committed and given the resources and you're pretty much already there, right? What's gonna happen? Sex goes away. You gotta understand, she does not value sex. Women on the whole don't value sex as much as men do. Right? Once they kind of get what they want, there really is little incentive to continue, even if the sex is really good. Now, if it's really good and, you know, the chemistry is there and all this other stuff, I mean, sure, fine, it is what it is. I mean, you know, and that's kind of what women want. And that might be the whole reason why she was with the baby daddy in the first place, because the sex was like that, but everything else was just lacking. So you got to understand, you are primarily a resource. You are not primarily a vibrator, right? So like I say, if you want sex and most likely she roped you in because she's beautiful and all this other good stuff, and you know, like I say, maybe the sex is there, so you commit to it, well, it's gonna go away. Like I say, on top of everything I just told you, she already has a kid. What's the one thing that, you know, honestly, what's the thing that women are built for? What is the thing that we value women the most for? Their youth and fertility. Their youth and fertility, right? So their sex appeal, which will fade, which is probably already fading. Her sexual market value has plummeted now that she has a kid, and her fertility, kid. So she already has a kid. Now she already has a kid. It's done. like this happens to straight men. This happens to single men that get with single women and they have, you know, they get together and have kids and get married and everything like that. This happens to them. So you're coming into a relationship that is already sexually compromised and you're expecting more sex. Get the fuck out of here. No. Oh shit, I'm about to catch a fucking aneurysm in here. But let's talk about number 11. Yeah, no resources for you. Like I say, you are primarily a resource. So, you know, you're going to be paying, you're going to be helping out with bills. You're going to be helping out with helping this kid get his, what you call it. You're going to be involved in, you know, just all the bullshit. That's what you're going to be involved with. All right. So we'll take, let's see. We'll take it a step further. No, actually, you know what? I'll stop there. That makes the most sense, right? You are primarily a motherfucking resource, bro. All right. So let's see. Here's the thing. Final message to the ladies, man. I'm gonna wrap up here with this. So for the ladies that honestly think, oh, well, you know, that, you know, man and this and that, if you're a real man, you're blah, 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 if you're that typical bitch that I've been telling you about, then here is what I want to ask you. If you had a son, and some of you probably are single moms, you probably do have a son, right? So if you have a son and this son grows up, right, and he has a choice to be with a woman who has a kid, a single mom, or be with a woman who doesn't have a kid, what would you want your son to do? Mind you, that every man on earth is a woman's son. Now, I'm at one more time. If your son grows up, would you rather have him be with a woman who is a single mom or be with a woman who's not a single mom? And he can make that choice. What would you want for your son? Now, mind you, also, no. Well, I'll stop there. Because if you said, I'd rather have my son be with a single woman, no kids, that's what I'd rather have. Then for you to sit up here and say, oh, well, you know, a real man is somebody that takes care of somebody else's kid, this and that, da-da-da. You're a hypocrite. You're a fucking hypocrite, right? Let's take it a step further. Let's say you said something to the effect of, well, it depends. I mean, because at the same time, most women, you're not definite on anything. It all depends. You never know, right? So if you say it depends, then that means you have little regard for your son's, like, after everything that I've just said, for you to honestly sit here and say some shit like, well, it depends. Right? So we're talking similar situations. You have one woman who has a kid with another man, one who doesn't, all things equal. And you're still saying it depends. Then you are probably that single mother. Bitter as fuck. Looking for the man that, you know, to help raise your bastard son, right? Your bastard kid, bastard kids. Right? And you understand that if you say yes, then that makes you a hypocrite. So now you're in this place where, well, it depends, and you're not going to want to commit to an answer. And look, if you completely come out here and say, no, I would want my son to go and be a real man. I would want my only son to go and date a single mother and get married to a single mother and everything, because that is the true definition, then you are so screwed up in the head. There's really no words for you. I don't even know how you even made it this far into the video. In fact, I mean, here's another thing. If a man gets with a single, like, here's the thing. If a man gets with a single woman, with the single mother, All right, that means his resources, instead of saving up for his retirement or doing whatever, it's going towards another man's kid. So the same money that as a mother you would probably be getting, like if he was smart, saving up his money, all this other good stuff to help you out maybe in the future, or his kids or something like that, is going towards another man's kids to supplement a woman and her bad decisions, right? So based on all that, on everything I just said, what do you think? Well, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna cut out now. I've been talking my shit for far too long. So with that, there is an article. It's gonna be at bullsh.com. And what I want you to do, go to the link below, read the article. It's not going to be as long as the shit that I've been talking, but go ahead and read the article. If you want to support the channel, Enlightenment Manual, Troy Mason Exchange, a lot of great things there. We want to provide more and more value to you. If you like the video, leave a thumbs up, and you know, leave a comment. Matter of fact, I want you to answer that question. If you're a woman and you're watching this, what would you want your son to do? And why? And if you are a man, give me your thoughts. Give me your thoughts. Give me a good reason, right? And this is honestly because I know a lot of white knights might be here. So give me a good reason. Why should a man, want to be with a single mother? Give me a good reason if you can. But, you know, with that, I'm gonna cut out. This has been your boy Troy, your friend, and I will see you on the other side.
The dick was good. But it's the only problem though, she said the dick was so good that as she started rocking, she just got into it, and all of a sudden she said something just hit her, bam, all upside his head, just slapped him. Dick will make you slap somebody. So y'all need to remember that. That's what I'm trying to deal with. The fact.
More like constipated, cause you know I do not take shit. Maybe honey, give shit. Give this misfit. Like a small condom on this dick. Words are like bullets and my bullets go ballistic. Beat hit hard, Ray Lewis, hold a hit stick.